Part 2, we're continuing from where Anna Kasparian is making claims that Kyle Kulinski already debunked.
I want to be clear about something. So the DM that I sent him specifically called him out on his constant sexual harassment of me at this place, at TYT. I also want to be clear that I didn't talk about it with anyone. I never talked about it with Jake until very recently, because for obvious reasons. And so I sent him that DM because the harassment has continued. It's not sexual harassment. It's been constant harassment online that wouldn't go away. It doesn't matter if I ignore him, which some of my friends, my leftist friends, have told me, just ignore him, it'll go away, just ignore him, ignore him. Kept going and going and going, directing trolls at me nonstop. And finally, I couldn't take it anymore. So I sent him that message saying, you remember what you did to me.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that he positions himself as this moral fighter for progressive values when he and I both know the kind of behavior he engaged in when he was working here. So I wanted to give you that context.
So by the way, why didn't Anna tell me? Because I would have fired him.
So the reason why he wrote the apology card was because every time he had made inappropriate comments about me at work, I ignored it. You know, but as I was walking into the studio, because my students were supposed to watch the show, it was their final assignment, watch the show, and there was a written assignment related to the show. And as I was walking in with them, that was when he made the comment, and he didn't make a comment about a news skirt. He made a comment about how sexy my legs were in front of my students. And it was degrading, obviously, and I want my students to respect me and take me seriously. Seeing an older man that I work with talk about my body like that in front of my students was wrong. And so for the first time, I actually snapped at him and told him to never make a comment like that about me again. And so I think he realized, I think I might have gone, I think now she might actually make a big deal about this. And that's why he wrote me that apology card to basically try to calm things down. But I mean, comments continued after that. That's who he was. And he was, he pretends as if he's like a fighter for progressive values. I heard the way that he spoke to producers here. He is anything but the so-called leftist that he tries to present himself to be, and his audience reflects that. His audience reflects that in the way that they responded to that video. Because anyone on the left, anyone who wants to fight for decency, to ensure that everyone lives a life of decency, wouldn't watch that video and think, oh no, that's my guy. That's who I want to side with. That's who I want to fight with. Because everything that Jimmy does on a daily basis, his entire intention is to be indecent and to be incredibly cruel to others, regardless of how much he agrees with them, regardless of how little disagreement he has politically speaking with these individuals. It's literally his bread and butter. This is how he makes his money.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, on the other hand, has already made his case and made his statement on this. But Kyle, in addition, made a lot of statements against TYT and some they were pro Jimmy Dore, and it got Cenk angry. TYT is so wrong, Kyle Kulinski has had to debate them even on Russiagate.
Of course, I have 1,000 disagreements with him. Again, I literally debated Cenk on Russiagate, okay? And there's a million other things I could go on and on about where I think they're wrong.
Kyle is with Jimmy on policy. He's not with TYT.
On the substance, I'm with Jimmy so far. So when it comes to Syria, when it comes to Russia, when it comes to Russiagate, when it comes to force the vote, none of this is a secret. You guys have seen all my fucking segments. you know where I fall on those policy issues. It's the most obvious thing in the world.
Anna ended up saying that Aaron Mate is paid by dictators. Kyle says Hannah of TYT is wrong, and all that she said is just a smear.
Aaron Mate yelled at me.
Aaron Mate, Aaron Mate. Everyone cares what Aaron Mate has to say, right? The guy who denies that Syrian children were killed with chemical attacks. Yeah.
And
Fuck Aaron Mate. Yeah, fuck you. Anyway, let's move on. Let's end the freaking pot. I can't.
Okay, see, that's what happens.
I can't stand that guy, and I can't stand the very intentional disinformation they put out there in regard to disgusting dictators around the world. The very people they seem to be working for, to be quite honest with you. Let's move on.
All right, we're done.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Well,
so let's state the obvious. That was gross. That was a smear. It's so absurd that
Kyle says TYT always has cringe opinions.
Guys, if you've watched TYT for a long time, you'll know this. He's always had a lot of cringe opinions.
TYT made a lot of bad business decisions, according to Kyle Kulinski.
They made a lot of bad business decisions.
Kyle says he doesn't want to hear Anna's nonsense about #MeToo or Anna saying that Jim is a grifter or corrupt or a right-winger.
Anna says it wasn't a bad joke. It was Jimmy commenting on me in a sexual way in front of my students. Her students were in the room at the time. Now, I wasn't there. I'll never know exactly what happened. I don't think Jimmy's a sex pest. I don't think he's a criminal. I don't think this is a #MeToo thing. So, I don't want to hear about some #MeToo shit. I don't want to hear about some bickering. I don't want to hear about how you think somebody's a grifter and a right-winger, and you think somebody's corrupt and they're a liar. Basically, as long as they're calling each other grifters and right-wingers and corrupt and liars,
and according to Kyle Kulinski, TYT brought an idiot, his words, on their show to try to debunk Jimmy and Aaron, and it failed.
The Young Turks then doubled down and brought on some idiot who parroted the State Department line on Syria. It was really sad to watch. It was like, what are you doing? Don't double down on this. You're so wrong. You're not even close to right. It was just sad to watch.
Kyle has more to dunk on TYT. He says that Cenk was in his feelings, which led him to have the segment where he attacked Aaron Mate. Kyle said that was the dumbest thing.
Cenk was just mad that Aaron responded to one of his tweets on Israel and Palestine where Cenk said something about sky gods, and Aaron dunked on him. But everybody dunked on Cenk for that tweet. Hassan Piker, his nephew, dunked on him for that tweet. Cenk took it personally that Aaron went after him on that tweet, and so I think that's what led to this segment or this portion of the post game. But yeah, there's no excuse for this. This is ridiculous. Of course, Aaron Mate is not paid by dictators or paid by the Russians. He's a great journalist who's done a lot of great work. So what do I think of that? Of course, I think of that the exact same thing that all of you fucking knew I thought of it, which is that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And
Kyle Kulinski might have given us a hint here that he's done with TYT when he said, "I'm done with them." He didn't have much good to say about TYT.